Hey everybody, Kevin here, and it's a little something for your performance edge. Now I was talking with somebody about influence this week, and they said, hey, Kevin, I have this big dream. I have this vision for what I want to accomplish in my leadership in life, and I really ultimately want to be someone who influences in a positive way and makes a difference, and actually I want to live up and be somebody that people would want to follow. And they were asking me what my take on it was. And I said, well, I do feel like there are some characteristics of somebody that everybody wants to follow. And I just sat down and I started unpacking it with them, and I'm going to share it with you today because I think deep down we all want to have influence. We all want to make a difference. And sometimes we have really big visions of the difference we want to make. And there's other kinds of differences that we want to make that are either internal in the lives of people, or just even from an influence standpoint of just helping people have a better life or inspire them in some way. But ultimately, we desire to be someone that people want to follow. Just it's in us. And so what does that look like? Well, I think the first thing is knowledge. I think there's an element of knowledge that's attractive to people. And I do think that there is, that ability to, learn and read and grow and develop. And people are attracted to people who are going somewhere. And a lot of times, there was one guy I was always intrigued with, but he was always carrying a book around. He was always reading something. And it inspired me to be a reader. It was just something where they were always a learner, and there was always something that they were excited about that they were pursuing in their knowledge. And I think that's an important thing. If you want to be someone that people want to follow, you got to have something to give, and giving away what you're learning in real time is very powerful. Second one is skills. Obviously, when you have different kinds of skill sets, there's a level of attractability that comes with that. And again, whether it's you're handy with a toolbox, right? Or you're handy with music, you have a skill for music, or being able to, articulate things in a way that others can't articulate things. The skills go very far, and they're important structures in our lives. And it's things that people are attracted to. And so knowledge and skills are two, and I'm probably for you guys, you would say it's a no-brainer. It's true. And I think the third one is kind of a little more warm and invisible, but it's desire. And what I mean by desire, probably better put, drive. People are attracted to people who are driven. They want to follow people who are pursuing a goal, and they're chasing something. They're pursuing a vision or a dream or a difference. And that desire, it leaks out of people. It comes out in the form of energy. And it's not the energy that runs over people. It's an attractive type of energy. And the next one is confidence. And here's the thing with confident people. Confident people aren't people who know it all. Confident people are believers in themselves in such a way that they know that they can bring their best self to any situation and believe they can figure it out. There's an optimism that comes along with confidence. It's often not spoken, it's more felt. And because that confidence just breathes out this whole idea of that ability to figure things out and that optimism that comes along with it, it's a magnet for folks. People are attracted to that. Next one is likability. Very straightforward, very simple. Is someone likable? There are all kinds of people who have skills and knowledge and even desire and confidence, but they're not likable. Well, that's a problem. Likability is one of those big things. And here's the thing I've learned about likability too. Likability is one of those things that has reciprocity attached to it. Likable people tend to like people. They are interested in people. They're not trying to be interesting. They're just interested in others. And because you're interested in someone else, they're attracted to that. And that likability is a key thing. And then this next one is deep networks. Deep networks is something where when you're a connector, okay, and you are connecting with other people, And that ability to be a connector is a relationship building piece, which also goes along with likability. Think about how these all interact with each other. There's a lot of integrative types of connections that go with this, but that whole idea of being just a connector, having that network. It's so funny because I get around certain people who all know other certain people. And it's funny, it's like the 7 degrees of separation, right? With Kevin Bacon or whatever that whole thing is. But there is an element to this. And it's funny how I hear certain names come up over and over and over again. They're a likable person and they're a connector. And here's one thing with connectors, I think it's really important. Connectors do have the ability to add value to others. They have the ability to either empty their cup on a skill or their knowledge, right? They can maybe empty their cup in terms of the energy they bring from a desire standpoint. Hey, I'm chasing something and people are attracted to that piece of it. But that level of connectivity and the deep network piece is really, really powerful in that sense. And then this last thing is energy. Energy is one of those key aspects that people are just attracted to. When there's good, healthy energy, people just want to be around it. It makes them feel better about themselves when they've been around you. And that level of energy, positive energy, call it what you want, but that level of energy is just something that a lot of people lack in their lives. And they're not, and maybe it's because in some cases, in general, not everyone's pursuing knowledge or skills. Their desire and their vision is kind of lacking. Maybe they don't believe that they can bring their best self to something and figure it out. Or they're wondering if they are likable and, or can they connect with people, or can they, develop a relationship and build that network, or bring the level of energy. But guess what? You can. You're here. So look at these things, unpack them in your own words, and let it craft a little bit of a vision about the kind of person you want to become, what I'm trying to become more of. And let that just kind of sit and develop, because ultimately, to be a leader, you're going to want to attract people who want to follow you. If you're a leader and no one's following you, you're going for a walk all by yourself. With that said, like I say all the time, when you see the invisible, you become unstoppable. Have a great weekend.